Life Fight with Jermaine Andre is a positive production of RareGem Productions. For previous episodes or to get new episode updates, subscribe to the Life Fight channel hosted on the Inspiration Network of OneRareGem.com. That's OneRaregem.com for the tools you need to take on your life fight. With U.S. Martial Arts Hall of Famer, two-time world champion, five-time U.S. champion, UFC vet, life coach, and author, Jermaine Andre. Visit JermaineAndre.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life Fight. This is Jermaine Andre. Got my co-host with me, Rebecca Beck.
Hello.
And we're going to be going over some things in your life fight, give you some ideas, give you some thoughts. We turn stuff apart here just to try to, come up with the right answers for all of us so we all can win this life fight. And one of the things that I wanted to remind you of as a listener, before we get into all the blah, 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 is that my main purpose is always to try to help you to protect yourself. Be ready to defend yourself. Be ready to, if that moment happens, you're going to be ready to go. So through everything you listen to, everything you're hearing, always remember that that's my main mission. Is for you to understand, protecting yourself, defending yourself, protecting the people that you care for, and protecting the innocent. And maybe somebody you don't care for that you don't know, but you see somebody, getting hurt. And it's an unjust, action that's happening, and you want to step up and be able to do something about it. And you want to make sure you have the understanding, the tools, the knowledge of things that you can do. So I always want you to be prepared. I always want you to be aware. And I always want you to know how to defend yourself. Now, a good example I'm going to give you real quick on being prepared would be, if you walk in, out of, let's say, the grocery store, and it's nighttime. Okay, it's dark outside. You walk into your car. There's cars out there in the lot, but it's, it could be 11 o'clock at night, really late. Now, anything can happen anywhere. Always remember that. Don't ever forget, anything can happen anywhere. So you walk into your vehicle and you got your pepper spray, or you got your, whatever, your Kubotan, whatever it is that you have. Even if let's say you got your CCW, when you're getting ready to enter that potential attack area, you should have your defense tool ready and ready to use. If I forgot, let's say you're carrying pepper spray, you should have the safety latch off, your finger on the trigger. If you're carrying a Kubotan, you should have it in your hand where you can just strike immediately with it. Drop your bags and hit with it if you need to. It shouldn't be where you have to dig in your pocket and find the keys that have the Kubotan connected to it. If you're carrying a CCW, you should have it where you can get to it. Let's say you got it on your hip, but you got your jacket covering in, you got a T-shirt hanging over that, and then another shirt hanging. You got to move all this stuff before you can even get to it. So that's a part of being prepared. Is that number one, you know how you're going to defend yourself. And if you're somebody who doesn't believe in carrying weapons and tools, then you should know what martial art technique you're going to use that you're going to hit somebody with. Like, let's say you might like the elbow strike, so when you're carrying your bags or whatever to your car, you should always be set up where you could drop those bags and use that elbow strike where you're not trapped and wrapped up in a position where you can't use the weapon that you want to use. So that's being prepared. You're ready. You're thinking ahead. You're looking and saying, okay, if something happens, this is the technique I can use. This is the weapon I can use, and I'm going to be able to get to it. So that's just, I want to give that, a little bit so people can understand a little bit about preparedness.
And don't forget, even if you never have a tool, you always have your set of keys. Keys can be used as a tool.
Yeah, keys, and there's always a lot of argument about keys because it's not a great self-defense weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of course it's not. But, I can tell you that a Kubotan compared to a gun is not a great self-defense weapon. So you can.
Why is it not a good self-defense weapon?
Well, because it's because you can't rip somebody's throat open with it, because it's not like a knife, or you can't blow their head off with it like a gun. So a key really is just for escape. Like you can smack somebody in the face with the keys. You can scratch at their face with a key. So now I wouldn't tell anybody to count on it. Now what you're saying is a tool of necessity.
Yeah.
And all weapons operate in the frame of a tool of necessity. It's like, of course, the best self-defense tool, which most people think you want to carry, is a gun, a firearm. That's what most think. Me personally, is pepper spray. Yeah. And I know that from the difference of using them all. Like I said before, I can take down a group of 20 with a pepper spray, but you can't do that with a gun.
Yeah.
You might get 3 of them, the rest of them going to get you, so tools of necessity mean, okay, if you're in a position where you can't carry, let's say, your gun, and you can't carry a knife, and they won't let you carry pepper spray either. And all you have is your keys, then you need to know how to use your key as a weapon.
Yeah.
So just like you said, don't remember, if you have nothing, you still have your keys. So you may get caught in that position where you just grab, I got to run out to the car real quick. And you run out to the car and you should have took your pepper spray or should have took your gun with you, whatever it was. But you think, I'm just running to go grab something. You're at a wedding. With your cousin's wedding, you having a good time, and you need to go grab the gift card out of the car. You run out there, it's nighttime, everybody been drinking, having fun, and you don't know everybody. Yeah. And now here comes a weirdo that's coming to attack you. You got your keys. That's what you got. That's a tool of necessity. Right. So that was a good.
Yeah, I was thinking about pressure points, just a sting, something to get somebody away from you. That was it.
Well, yeah, the eye, maybe the thread. With a key, the eye is probably the best thing. The face. Yeah. Anywhere else, you might make them jump a little bit, but that's about all it's going to do. A Kubotan or something like that's a lot stronger. Yeah. A key would, because of the way it fits in your hand, is too small. You don't have a lot of support with it in your hand.
Now, do you think that someone who carries a weapon, like a Kubotan or a knife, something like that, with no experience, they still have a better chance when it comes to using it for self-defense? So would you suggest someone using a self-defense tool that they've never been trained in?
Definitely. I mean, if you're going to get anything, you need to get trained in it.
Yeah.
You definitely need to get trained in it. But would I give my daughter a knife or a Kubotan, but I know she's going out into the world by herself and she's old enough where she can carry, she hasn't used it yet? Yes, I would, because she can still open it and we all kind of watch TV and see how to use. Not even natural, but we kind of know what to do from watching a movie. And I would rather her have that opportunity where she knows that, she's in danger, her life's in danger, and at least she saw something on the movie where she knows, okay, well, I know if I take this knife and do this to this person, this is supposed to happen. Okay. Rather than you don't need to carry a knife because you got no training. Then she's like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Right. Use harsh language. You know what I'm saying? So, but of course, I always say, just like I said, it takes less time, and less money than it does a shop for a pair of shoes to learn how to, learn self-defense and learn how to use a weapon. Yeah. So if you're going to carry something, you should be an expert at it. Just like, when I trained our security guys the other day, one of the things that happened was I made them they had to use a baton, impact weapons, and they had to beat this bag. And one of the security guys, his baton flew out of his hand. And I said, yeah. He said, it's slippery. I said, exactly, because your hands are wet. Yeah. You're sweating. The first thing that happens, your hands start sweating. So you have to experience that. Just like if you're going to be somebody with a knife, I mean, what happens when you stab somebody? You might have to cut them a few more times. That's a lot of people say, I carry a knife. Well, a knife's not really a man stopper. You cut somebody, most of the time they don't know they're cut because the knife cuts so clean. Yeah. Especially when you panic and, if you start doing that, now your hand is soaking wet with their blood. Can you hold on to that knife? If they're still pursuing you. So that's why you got to get the proper training from the proper person that's going to tell you these kinds of, these kinds of things. Right. So I'd like to bring up something we saw just the other night was an actual robbery at a gas station, not an armed robbery, anything like that. So everybody don't get all super excited. I do not have a Spider-Man story here for you, where I came swinging off a vine and did this and did that. But it was, we pulled up to a gas station and we noticed, well, actually Rebecca pointed it out. I saw it and Rebecca pointed it out that, and I'm not going to tell you that we were going to get ice cream, and she pointed it out, it was like late at night, 11 o'clock. We shouldn't have even been out there getting ice cream. That's the first thing. But she pointed out that there was like a group of like 6 guys, and of course we profiled the crap out of them. They were sagging pants and, the bad attitude look and everything. It's 11 o'clock at night. They're teenagers. What are you doing out here anyway? And she said they look like they're about to do something. Yeah. So
they weren't talking to each other or anything. They were all looking forward. They were just like staring out into space. I was like, they're not even hanging out. Yep. They weren't talking to each other. That was my first sign of what they were doing.
Well, if it just like, because you've been through the security training, the VIP training, where I say the first thing you do is you look at a person, you read their emotion. Yeah. That when they're somewhere, their emotions should fit the place that they're at. Like I say, when somebody walks in the club and they look mean, that's not what a club's about. You come to the club to have fun. So how are you not having fun at the front door and ready to go have a good time? That means you're up to something. So you saw that. Right. Okay, why are they there? First of all, they were out of place. Then their expressions didn't fit. Yeah. So I looked, and like I said, I had already seen them, and I told them I wasn't going to let you go in by yourself. Yeah. But we weren't going to go in until I seen what was happening. But then I saw there was a female clerk. So of course I wasn't going to abandon the clerk. So I'm like, okay, well, just hold on a second. Let me see what's happening. Yeah. Well, I looked inside and I seen a dude with a hood on, looking grungy, talking to the clerk, talking all hands waving. drawing attention, and the other one started walking in. I said, they shoplifting.
Yeah.
I said, they're going in, they get ready to go steal some stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, watch what's going on. You know, and they went in. Of course, I couldn't jump out. I'll just start karate chopping because they hadn't done anything yet.
Right.
And that's what people, what you mean? Why did you do something? Like, what do you mean, do what? They had not committed a crime. They hadn't done anything.
Right.
Now, I'm watching, and the only way I'm going to jump in is if somebody's life in danger in the first place. I'm not a police officer, you know. So they went in, and of course, you know, the dude circling around the back, and the dude up the front, blah, blah, keeping her attention. And then they came out. And I said, watch, said he just got through grabbing a bunch of stuff. I said, watch him over there in the corner because they were hid from her sight, but not from ours. They didn't know we were in the car.
And they had backpacks on, so.
Yeah, and they had backpacks.
Yeah.
I mean, they loaded up, and they started pulling bags of chips out and all this kind of stuff, you know. And so, of course, you know, we went in together, and I went up to the counter, and I told her, she was a young girl, probably maybe in her early 20s, maybe,
20s,
you know. And I said, you know, you just got robbed, right? And she said, what'd she say?
She said, yeah, I know. It happens all the time.
Yeah, she said, they do. Well, she said, they do this all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, baby, you can't let them do that.
Yeah.
I said, it's going to escalate, and they're going to come back with a gun and rob you. They might rape you, anything.
Yeah.
You know, you're out here by yourself. I said, if you call the cops, they will run a sting operation. And she said, really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
She had no idea what to do.
No, she didn't. And that's like I say, that's what it is. It's so, and it's this whole thing with the you know, these few cops shooting and killing people that they probably shouldn't be shooting and killing is really messing up police work because people don't believe that cops want to stop crime from happening.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks cops want to pull up afterwards and be the badass. You know, everybody stand back. This is the dirty. You know.
Yeah, they want to prevent it.
No, they want to stop it way before. And they will come out there and she will see some fake construction trucks. They will run a operation out there. They will kick them dudes' butt and throw them in jail, and they will make sure that you know, it doesn't happen. And when I said that to her, you know, she's like, you know, really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, man, you can't let this, because it'll escalate. They're going to get braver and braver. He's going to come out and say, well, hey, did you get the M&Ms? Oh, man, I couldn't get them. Oh, you little trouble. Next time, give me. Hey, we'll get this. Next time, we'll get some liquor. All right, we'll get this. They're going to steal a couple cans, but they're going to start getting drunk. You know, then we'll get this. Well, she got the good liquor behind the thing. Well, man, I got my brother's gun. I bet you if we go in there with him. And it escalates. You don't get better until it gets shut down and stopped. And here's this girl out here by herself in this place. If I was working in there, it'd be a shotgun under the counter.
Yeah, well, that's what I didn't like. I didn't like that she was clueless. She didn't even have any idea of what to do, or you could tell she was never taught, hey, if this happens, or you need to look out for this, or if you're working the counter and something like that's happening, you know, you need to at least call your manager and let him know. She didn't have any kind of protocol for if if the store was getting robbed. That's what I didn't like.
And it's a shame, because do you remember when you and I went around to the real estate agencies? And I'm not even going to say the area because I don't want to embarrass everybody, and handed them flyers. And I walked in personally with you and gave them free workshops.
Free workshops.
Free to come and learn how to make sure they don't become, after somebody had, this was like 5 or 6 years ago after some real estate agent had got attacked, and nobody called. Yeah. They even looked at me like they were mad at me for bringing it in, you know, like I was getting ready to rob myself.
They didn't want their employers to feel that their job was dangerous.
Yeah, that's what it is. But this is the thing. What they don't understand is it's not worth somebody's life. Yeah. And if you train them correctly, there's a way to train them where they don't feel afraid to do their job. Yeah. You know, but this girl who's a young girl, that's somebody's daughter, you know, maybe somebody's young mother. And as an owner of a company, safety's first. Yeah. You know, it's just like at the school. I mean, when I first opened the school and we had, you know, a couple of females working there, and I would never let them work there by themselves at night. Yeah. You know, and in the daytime, you lock down until a person shows up here. You know, and I remember I had a partner who's like, "What is that?" I said, "You don't take those chances."
Yeah, you don't take those.
You know, and I let the people who work there know this can happen and this can happen and this, and they didn't get scared to do their job. Yeah. They appreciated that I was like, "Oh man, well thanks, Mr. Andre." That's you know, and I can go open a school today since you're downtown. No, you can't. Yeah. You know, and they go up there, open a school, and we get bit. I'd lose business because I would say I'm not putting you in that unsafe position. Yeah. But even like you say, her knowing, I don't think she even knew to report it. To the owner, because the way she responded, I know they do that all the time. So she's frustrated. She's letting him get robbed. You know, and then and we got to remember this too. After we went and got our. That's right. We didn't get any ice cream, so we can say that. Yeah, we did not get any ice cream. We don't have to say why.
I actually left it at the counter.
Oh, quit! You're not supposed to say that. We trying to play the political position.
Sorry.
We did not get any ice cream. You know, we're not at liberty to discuss anymore. You know, there we go. So we did get an ice cream, and we went back up there.
However,
and,
we did go back and get it.
You just ratting us out for something. That don't even matter. That's not even part of the story.
That's okay. You ratted me out a couple of podcasts ago about going
in the bank. Yeah. Okay. You got me back.
Going to the bathroom at 2:00 in the morning where we weren't supposed to be.
But nobody figured it out until what was actually happening until you said something now. So you just told on yourself. See? But anyway, remember I went back to the front and I said, I went up there. She said, I went out there and said something to her.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of looked at her. You know, and it was busy and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, I'm getting tired of this, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, look, call the cops, man, and they will run a sting operation. I said, just like we're sitting there and we saw that, they'll put a cop way over across the street with binoculars. They got it. They know what they're doing. They want to catch them. So just call the cops and tell them. You know, she said, okay. So we left out and we went out. The guys were standing over there. Yeah. And I had thought about going and saying something. You know, but then I said to myself, well, they were already gone. I think that was before when they came out, after they came out and stole it, before I went in and said something to her.
Yeah, they were.
I was sitting there and I thought about, I should go say something to her. Yeah. But then I said, that could turn to anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of people don't think, because people say, well, Jermaine, you're this big old muscle-bound cage fighter, security guy, bodyguard. Why do you go do something or say something? Yeah. First of all, they're kids, so they're underage, Kids carry guns, knives, all kinds of stuff. So I walk over there and start saying, like, what are you guys doing? You shouldn't do this. Man, F you, man. And then cage fighter Jermaine Andre come out, slap the crap out of one of them, because he need to be slapped. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That could have turned really, really bad, which somebody could have, when you're dealing with somebody as intense as me, somebody could have gotten killed over a bag of chips. Yeah. So that's how I had to look at it, that, okay, they're not hurting this girl. No attack has happened.
Right, nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I don't need to.
That's what we were looking for.
We don't need to let I'm a dog. I'm a pit bull on a chain. I'm not, some business guy or, somebody who will just walk over and, hey, guys, you should, I'm not a preacher. Yeah. That's a preacher's job. They're people of peace. I am a warrior. So I'm not built to go over there and confront something like that. And then things start looking shaky, and I trip because I'm thinking, maybe he got a gun. Why is his hand in his jacket? What's he got in that back pocket? Why is this dude moving behind me? Yeah. Then and I'm standing out there like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it's a 14-year-old kid halfway dead. Yeah. And they're saying, you did that over a bag of chips? Right. Now, oh, Jermaine, you're in. So, what I'm saying? So I said, okay, smart thing to do. Let her know.
Yeah, that's what you're built for. Let her know what she should have done. But even with her, like, she said she went outside, and it goes the same way with her. She went outside, and something could have happened to her.
Yeah, that's what she shouldn't have done.
Yeah, she went outside telling them, hey, I know what you're doing, and they might have, beat her up or something.
Yeah, because they were over there in that dark corner. Yeah. And she shouldn't feel like that she should put her life, and she should be trained to know that. Yeah. That's where the ownership should say, hey, if you give it, just like when somebody come to steal, they point a gun to steal the money at a store, you don't try to take the gun, you give them the money. Yeah. And you don't give them problems. You go, whoa, no problem, dog. Hey, it's all yours. It's insured anyway. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I'm going to say. It's insured. That's your money. Have a nice night, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a couple minutes before I call the cops. Yeah. You want him happy so he don't pull that trigger. Mm-hmm. And that owner's supposed to make sure that they're trained to know that. So her going out there by herself like that was a dumb move. Yeah. Anything could have happened to her.
So would you say your piece of advice in this situation is to let people know that that's what cops are there for? Yes. That's what, don't be afraid to call them or let them know what's going on.
Yeah, she did the right thing because it was a group of not saying anything at first. Because when I told her, you got robbed, she said, yeah, I know they always do that. I was like, okay, good. That's good you didn't say anything, because that could have turned into anything. F you, man, blah, 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 blah. And then, or they just get mad and come back later. Yeah. She could have ran them off, and later on they get her when she go in her car. So it was smart not to say anything, but that's where she going back and call the cops. Say, hey, I got these guys up here stealing from me. Yeah. This is what they look like. Give a description, and the cops will get them. Mm-hmm. Even if they don't get them at that store right there, they're going to drive around.
Yeah, they'll find them.
He fits that description. Yeah. Test and arrest. Mm-hmm. Hey, what you doing, buddy? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if they doing like that and they got that kind of attitude, they're going to make the move that's needed for that cop to make the move he needs to make. Yeah. So, okay, so that covers that. Took up half the podcast, didn't it? Today we're going to actually go over building Jermaine Andre and the type of training that I went through, that I put myself through, because there's a lot of stuff out there. There's tons of training programs, tons of supplements, tons of diet plans. And the thing is, there's tons of people who do different things, and you'll have plan 1, plan A, plan B, plan C, and this person doing plan A will be the champion. But there's a person doing plan C who's a champion. But then there's a person doing plan B who's a champion. It's just like, You come to my martial arts school, we hold the pads a certain way. And then you'll get somebody from American Top Team who comes over, and they hold it differently.
Yeah. And
so one of my students, when American Top Team comes over, I tell them, well, you got to hold them this way because of the way we do our combinations. And one of my students asked, well, why do they hold it like that? That's wrong. I said, no, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's the way that they do it. American Top Team got tons of champions, and they're a good school with great people. So in saying that, everyone has to understand that there's different ways to do things. And my way was really, how can I put it, really natural.
Yeah.
My way of training myself and, training for fighting was really natural. Like, I'll start off with my meals, for one. I was basic. I was vegetarian for a long time, as I entered the fight game.
That was absolutely no meat? Or was that still? No,
there's about 15 different types of vegetarian. Yeah. There's so many different types of vegetarian. I don't even know what kind of vegetarian I was. Were you vegan? Were you veggie vegan? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. That's how disconnected I am. I ate vegetables and fish. Yeah. That was all I ate. And, nothing else. I didn't eat chicken or anything like
fruit?
That. Yeah, I ate fruit.
Yes, I ate fruit. Vegetables.
Fruit, vegetables, no eggs, no milk, anything like that. So that was for a while until I felt I actually got malnourished in a fight. So then I went back to chicken. I would eat meat, like red meat, steak only, probably once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 to 3 weeks. I drank water, and that was pretty much the way my meals went. It was just anything that I knew was bad for you, I didn't eat.
Right.
And that's pretty much the way. And that put it through my whole career.
Yeah.
Supplements. That's a really, really big thing now. Supplements were just that for me. I think supplements, and people don't understand, supplement means a small part of. Actually, it supplements everything else you have. Doing. Now supplements are the meal for people. There is so much. Oh my goodness, people try. When somebody comes, hey Jermaine, I got this new product, I want you to try it. I'm like, oh man, here we go. And they're like, this is what you need to drink before you work out. This is what you need to drink in the beginning of your workout. Then in the middle of your workout, you need to drink this. Then you need to eat this at the end of your workout. Then when you get home, you got to eat. I'm like, how in the heck?
Right.
And I'll puke it.
Yeah.
I cannot stomach it. So my supplements were, I did protein powder.
Vitamins.
Probably, was that? Yeah, once a day. Multivitamin, and I half served everything. Everything the container said to do in full, I took half of that.
Yeah.
And what I did was I measured my body. I would go off how I felt. So like, let's say, a fight was coming up. We'll go after a fight. I just ended the fight. All right, so the fight was it. That was the mission.
Yeah.
Mission complete. Okay, then I stayed healthy on my meals, and I stopped all my supplements. I did no protein, no vitamins, nothing. And then what I would do when it was time to get ready for another competition, I worked out with no vitamins, no supplements or nothing until I got to the point that I was tired in training.
Yeah.
And I felt like, man, I need a boost. Then I go to my vitamins. To get that, I feel good. And then when I got to the point where I felt again like, man, I'm kind of losing. Then I went to protein.
Yeah.
Then I keep going and going and going. Then I got to the point where I was stuck in my strength and my power. Then I would go to a little bit of creatine. Which creatine I did probably, a fourth serving. Like probably two, like the whatever they say, a serve on a cup. I did half that serving twice a week. Because a lot of muscle does you no good in the fight game.
Yeah.
It just gets in the way. And I learned that through the fight game. So nowadays, supplements is just, I'm saying, and of course, because we can't forget the main objective behind a supplement is to sell you.
Yeah.
For you to buy it. So everything is, they're making you take as much as they can make you take, so you can buy more.
Right.
So if I can recreate this supplement where it's a pre-workout, a beginning workout, a middle workout, an end of the workout, and an after workout, and I just sold you that 4 times. You know what I'm saying? When actually probably the only thing that's really working is what you took in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it just making you just bloating you halfway to death, but it's not going to kill you. It's not bad enough where it's going to kill you. So we're just going to keep selling you and make you think you got to take all this stuff. So
you had a protocol though, because you always had some formula because you had a fight coming up. So let's say people take supplements and they don't have competition, they don't have a fight, they don't have something coming up. Is there still some kind of guideline where they should do them, get off them, do them, get off them?
Yes, that's a really good question. That's why up at the academy we do those 6-week workouts, and then you have a recovery week. in the 7th week, we call it recovery week. And one of the main things I'm telling you, let recover is your kidneys.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing supplements, even multivitamins, this is still concentrated stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you're not on all the, what I call the super fuels,
right.
InnoExplode and Dynamite 3 and all this stuff that you take it and you feel like you're in a nightclub with lights spinning, because you high as a kite. It's going to be the best workout you ever had, So even if you're not taking that, it still is not natural.
Right.
Even though it's made from natural ingredients, it's not natural for your body. Our body shouldn't be processing, compressed and concentrated chemicals. So that's what I would advise is, if you've got a 5K you're getting ready for, find something to go.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for this 5K. I got 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ready for a Tough Mudder. I got 6 weeks. I'm gonna get ready for whatever it is, and then do 6 weeks of training, 6 weeks on your supplements, and then after that, stop.
Yeah.
Stop, get off your working out. If you're going to work out, do it just for fun, real life, so your joints get rest, so your heart gets rest, your muscles will get more, they'll heal over that week, and they'll rest, any injury you got will start recovering. And then after that 7th week, then go back to it and go back to what you were doing.
That makes sense. Even if you don't have a competition, even maybe like a weight loss goal. Let's say I say, I want to lose 5 pounds, so I'm going to be on this. As soon as I hit my 5 pound mark or my 10 pound mark, then you're saying after that's when you should take a rest from your supplement. Now you look at vitamins as a supplement also? Yeah.
What I did was I would take my vitamins only if I trained.
Okay.
So when I took Sunday, and sometimes I take 2 days a week off. Most of the time it was 1. But if I took whatever I took 2 days off, you get no supplements, Jermaine. You're not working a day. You don't get to put that in your system. And, and a lot of people argue that, and a lot of laboratory rats argue that the system, it needs to get built up in your system.
Yeah.
And it could be correct. I don't know. Like I said, we all do different things. I know people who, I would train up to my fight, and I would train and I would take 2 days off before the fight to rest. And one of my friends, Kevin Randleman, he trained the day of the fight. When we both fought in the UFC, we were hanging out each other in the hotel room, watch TV, and he's like, Jermaine, you want to go run some sprints in the parking lot? I said, man, you out of your mind? We fighting today. He said, yeah, I like to just, make sure I don't get stiff. I said, man, you go ahead. I'm going to be sitting right here.
Yeah.
Went out in the parking lot, that's a world champion. He's one of the best in the world. So we all do things differently. So as always, you just got to, and that's why I say you got to learn yourself through doing all this stuff. And don't let anybody in, especially do not let a advertisement tell you what you need.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things you can do in the world is look at a picture of this model who don't even take the supplements for real. They just modeling for it and say, you need to take super fuel 3 times, take this 5 times a day, and this is going to happen. Then take this, add this with it, and take this with it. And they don't even tell you the workout program these people are doing and all that. And then I got to do that. And you pump yourself with all this stuff. Yeah. So you don't want to do that. It's okay if you like the commercial and you think it's going to work. Try it out slowly. Yeah. I always tell everybody, start half dosing. But make sure you work it out at the same time and you eating healthy. Eating healthy. So. Yeah.
Well, and you obviously, it all worked for you because you're mentally healthy, you're physically healthy, you never get sick, all those tie into it. So whatever you did for yourself worked, and I think that people following it is a good idea, and if it doesn't work for you, then like you said, it's trial and error.
Right, you got to find what works for you. We're all different people. Yeah. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself.
Right.
Because, that's true. Like I said, I haven't had a cold or a flu in 20 years. Yeah. And I can be around anybody. You can sneeze on me. You can sneeze on my sandwich, and I eat it, and I don't get sick. Yeah. And that's not saying I'm Superman. I'm never going to get sick. I'm just saying what's been occurring, So, but that's why I look at with supplements. I never wanted them to control me. Yeah. I always wanted to be natural. And that's what a good thing with steroids. That's why I've never, like a lot of people say, they think just because you got big muscles, you do steroids. Yeah. I mean, first of all, look at my personality. I'm way too calm to be a roid head. You know what I'm saying? My skin is way too clear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And actually I'm speaking old school steroid, because now they've got, testosterone this, and I think that's a steroid. And they actually, remember, I think it was GNC, and I'm going to say their name because it was actually something on their shelf that had some kind of testosterone, and they had to pull it. Yeah. The government had to pull it because it was messing people up. Yeah. So they can really out here, these supplement companies, and that's just a crack at the supplement they had on their shelf. Yeah. These supplement companies can put whatever they want, and they're putting testosterone in these supplements or steroids because they want you to get results. They want you to get, but you're like, man, I got huge off of this. You don't even know you're taking it, So that's the whole thing is I never wanted to feel like I had to depend on a supplement.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't want. I never wanted to feel like, man, I got to take this or I can't make it.
Yeah.
And so when steroids got introduced to me, I've never even seen a steroid needle or seen a pack of them or anything. People would ask me, you had other people as big as I am, you got other weightlifters, you want some roids? And I said, nah, I got no interest in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be where I have to feel like I have to take something. So supplements that were legal at that time, because now I guess testosterone is legal too, but even supplements like protein and creatine. So I didn't even like having to take creatine.
Yeah.
So I just small dosed it.
Right.
Because I said, I'm not going to have a supplement where I have to depend on this junk.
I remember I started a pre-workout drink.
Oh,
What I do at probably,
explode.
I only did it for about a month, right?
No. You did. We only let you do it for a week.
A couple weeks. Yeah, and then when I stopped taking it, I couldn't even train.
2 weeks.
I couldn't even train after that.
Well, because I remember we both took it, explode, and I felt like $1 billion.
Oh yeah.
And I know my body, and I said, dude, this is wrong, because remember I had the experience with ephedrine. When ephedrine first came out, it was in what's called Rip Fuel.
Yeah.
And I had bought one at the gym thinking it was a protein drink, drank it, or it was a pre-workout. I was dead tired. One of my buddies gave it to me and said, here, man, take this. It'll, it's pre-workout. And I was kind of like, and I didn't even drink coffee or anything. My whole fight career, I didn't drink none of that stuff. So I drank this thing. And, oh man, I think I ran like 7 miles, which I only normally run 3.
Yeah.
I've never ran over 3 miles in my life.
Right.
So I was kind of like, man, I must be really getting in shape. So I'm thinking it was me. This must be when the martial arts spirit is proud of me and it's hit me. I'll be levitating soon. I'm thinking this is it. So then I went to train at Ron Smith's, and I bought another one, drank it, and I'm moving like a lightweight. I was like, man, you're really doing good. What's going on? And then I started thinking, I was like, maybe it was. I said, I don't know. I drank this thing, and I showed it to him. He looked at it. He don't know. Back when he was fighting, you didn't have stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he just, well, that's cool, man. We thinking it's a Gatorade. You know what I'm saying? So what happened the next day, I went and worked out without it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even run a mile.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to me. Yep.
I crashed off. I was like, oh my, so I was already educated.
Yeah.
So when we took the InnoExplode, I'm trying to tell you, if you want with listeners, if you want to have a good time, I'm talking about you going to the club, whatever you're going to do, take InnoExplode. You do not need to visit your local drug dealer or anything. Get your shaker mug, shake up some InnoExplode, drink it, you and your friend, and y'all gonna be like, man, you're gonna be on the dance floor tearing it up. So we took it, I knew.
Yeah.
I said,
that is powerful.
I feel wonderful.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I could take on the world. We hit the track. And I don't know how many miles I ran, and then the whole day we just felt great.
Yeah.
And then remember, you looked at the side of it. It said, what did it say on the side of it?
Yeah, it said, once you start taking this, you'll never be able to train
You'll never be able to
it.
work out without it. Yep. And I said, Rebecca, you see this right here?
Yeah, I didn't see the fine print.
I was like, you see this? I said, that's what it is. And you were like, well, I want to keep trying. I was like, I said, well, I'm off of it. I said, but let's let you try to see what it does, because this is new stuff. This was, because remember, actually a fitness trainer, one that I really liked, a girl who I looked up to. She's ripped, shredded, got 5 kids with an 8-pack. Had told me about this new nitrous oxide thing. Oh my God, Jermaine, have you tried the new nitrous oxide? It's awesome. Look, I ain't into all that, but that's what InnoExplode had in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well let's experiment on you, and you took it for about 2 weeks. That was you want to ask. I told you not to do it. And you said so. I said okay, cool. And after 2 weeks, how long did it take us? Remember, I came to get you to work out, and you wasn't taking it. You were hiding in the closet crying.
Yeah.
You did not want to work out. You were crying. And I was like, man, you have to. You got to work this out of your system. It was like weaning you off drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and we've seen that happen. We've watched some of the Diva Fit girls. I remember I caught the one. She was all working out. You was like, man, she's killing. I said, she's drinking that InnoExplode.
Yeah. And
I said, hey, that InnoExplode, I'm letting you know, it's going to work just for probably about 2 weeks, maybe a month. And you're going to crash, and it's going to be super hard.
Yeah.
And what happened? After 30 days, she quit.
She couldn't help.
She don't train anymore. But that's what happened. So hopefully she understand what I was telling her, and she'll realize that okay, that was this and it was bad, and come back to me and say what's better.
Yeah.
And we get her on some metabolism from Prograde, something that's healthier for you. So that's where I'm on supplements. Let's keep it moving. Mind strengthening was another thing that I really, really focused on was meditation. Every morning when I woke up, I meditated and said a prayer. Every night before I went to bed, I meditated and said a prayer. And I had a place where I kneeled down and I humbled myself, and I, allowed myself to calm myself, practice, breathing in and out slowly, making sure that I'm under control with what I'm about to experience. I would visualize training, visualize fighting, visualize everyday activities, the things that I go through, to make sure that it was kind of like, how can I look at, this was a fine tuning of the body, a dialysis run is what I was doing with my mind to make sure that I was always, everything was ready to accept, what I was getting ready to put it through.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really, really.
So usually when you cleared your mind is when things came to you. Is that how meditation works for you? Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's really funny you say that, because when you meditate and you try to do what's called stopping mind chatter. Yeah. We've all got so much going on that you can't even really see what's going on. Mm-hmm. So when I would stop trying to think, then I could pick up on what was happening around me. And it put me in tune with everything. They put me in balance with everything, and they put my body in balance with my mind. Mm-hmm. So that was a really, really important part. What you even see before my fights, I always got down, I bowed, said a quick prayer for the guy I was fighting for one. Asked God to protect him from me. Cause that's why I said protect him from me, because I'm gonna try to murder him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing. But yeah, that was really, really important.
And it doesn't always have to be so time consuming. All you have to do sometimes is stop, clear your mind, take deep breaths. That's what meditation can be.
Yep, definitely.
A lot of times people think that it's something that takes a lot of time out of their day, and it's not like that.
Deep thought is all it is. Mm-hmm. Meditation is just, it can be deep thought. It can be just stopping and focusing on yourself. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be a giant ceremony and, anything like that, and you're trying to float and levitate. It could be something simple. It's just spending time with your inside your own self. Right. The other thing I did was road and track. I ran a lot. I ran distance. I'd run 3 miles, maybe 4 sometimes. I wasn't a big heavy time runner because I was, built. I was, I had a lot of muscle, and that's really hard. I had short legs when I had half because I still run. It still hurts, but having short legs, I couldn't run a lot of distance, and that's really hard on the knees. Yeah. But one of the main things I did was I sprinted a lot, and that's something that a lot of fighters, especially back in the day when I was fighting, they didn't do. Some ran distance because you've seen the Rocky movies, and a lot of boxers and stuff do. But sprinting was one of the main places I got my explosion. I said, why do I want to go run for 2 hours? Yeah. I'm not fighting for 2 hours. I'm going to be fighting for, 15 minutes. Right. And it's going to be explode the whole time. So that's more like sprinting. Right. So that's what I would do is I would hit the track and sprint, or sprint up and down the stairs, sprint up and down the hills, put weight on my back and pick up bricks and run up and down the hill to make myself stronger and faster.
So did it help your explosiveness mentally and physically? Did it go both, or was it more physical?
No, it was mental and physical. And that's really a good question, because you have to be able to explode in your mind to make your body explode. Right. Going back to the ice book, that inner calm and explosiveness, and it's coming from calmness to exploding, but it happens in your brain before it happens with your body. Yeah. So that's what it definitely. But I did a lot of jumping too, a lot of jumping.
Yeah, I think everyone in class knows that you did a lot of jumping, because that's what we do a lot of. So
that's right. Well, you can see. My power, and I can jump I could probably jump 5 feet in the air. But that's because I did a lot of jump. But that gives you a lot of explosion. Yeah. That's something you can't cheat through is jumping. You put a goal, you got to jump on it or over it. If you don't make it over it, you're gonna land on your face. Yeah. So it makes you really, really work hard and work past that part in your brain that allows you to be lazy when you're just running or doing something like that. One of the things that I did too that made Jermaine Bam Bam Andre who he was weightlifting. Yeah. Because weightlifting was not something that went with the martial arts. Martial artists don't lift weights. And it's something you're seeing a lot in the movies now. You see all your, Jason Statham and Michael Jai White and, all of them, Jean-Claude Van Damme. They got these rip shredded bodies, bodybuilder bodies. But a bodybuilder body can't last in a fight. And I'm not telling you that, like, if you're a bodybuilder, you say, oh, bull crap, I'm a bodybuilder, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look at my body. I'm a bodybuilder too. And I've done bodybuilding where my focus was weightlifting, and I couldn't run a half a mile. You get into a struggle, and, you're not going to be able to compete in a professional fighting arena with that type of build and that type of body.
So it slows your endurance down?
Yeah, it kills your endurance.
And your flexibility probably too.
It kills your flexibility. Yeah. Because the way you get strong is your muscles compress. Yeah. They tighten up. So the tighter you are when you can't reach back and wipe yourself when you need to, the stronger you are.
Yeah.
You know, so you see those guys who can barely move, don't let them get a hold of you. They're going to throw you way down the street because they are strong. But all you got to do is run, 5 feet from them and let them chase you. They go, and they probably going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Especially all the supplements they taking, they got their heart rate going.
Yeah.
Going like this. So when I lifted weights, I knew this.
Yeah. I
said, well, wait a minute. I can't let my weight. First of all, I wanted to look good. I want to look good for my fans. I want to look good for the art. And I said, but the guys doing this in the movie, but they ain't fighting for real. Mm-hmm. They get braced and ain't nobody really trying to beat them up. Yeah. And all this muscle is, so I can't. So I had to make sure I did other training. So my weightlifting, the main thing I did first of all was make sure I didn't lose my flexibility.
Yeah. So
I would spend, hours sometimes stretching every day. I would sit in the splits in front of the TV and watch TV while sitting in the splits while I watched the movie.
Wow.
So, and I stretch when I woke up. I stretched before training, I stretched in the middle of training, and I stretched after training. Mm-hmm. And when I lifted weights, I always made do what's called opposing muscles. If I did my chest, I did my back. Mm-hmm. If I did my quads, I did my hamstrings. I did my biceps, I did my triceps. So what would happen is I do all these curls, and those muscles start doing what they're supposed to do. They tighten up. Yeah, Jermaine, we gonna make you look rock hard. Yeah. And then I do the triceps behind it. And so those triceps would pull on that arm and make those biceps release some.
Yeah.
And then I go and hit the heavy bag. Use it right after my weightlifting to make sure I'm not losing the main reason. Yeah. So what you had was, here I am. I was this strong dude. So when I was, and it helped because what happened when I got into the matches, if I got to a point like, where my muscle was still eating up my energy, I could rest. Yeah. And I had a certain breathing technique I would use that only took me probably about 2 seconds. And it would refuel my muscles with oxygen. And it was game over. Yeah. Then that's when you see me lift people up in the air. You're like, dang, how do you? And I slam them, or I hip toss them, or I explode. Yeah. That's when you see that boom. And that's what I'm doing. Cause the way I lifted my weights, I'm loaded my muscles where I had these big muscles, and I could use them when I needed. So my fighting style was, okay, I've got big muscle. It's got to be flexible for one, so I can execute my techniques. So I'm lifting. When I've lifted my weight, I made sure I maintain my flexibility, and I got these big muscles. And so I created my fighting style where I didn't use too much energy, that's supposed to what the martial arts is supposed to be about. You're supposed to be able to trick people. So what I had was I got these muscles loaded up for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna overexert myself fighting you until I find the right moment. Then I'm going to fill them with the oxygen they need. So all that weightlifting I can use on you. Yeah. But I'm not going to be restricted by not being flexible either because I'm flexible. So that's what created this weird fighting style I had where you see me sometimes just tap a person and they're out. Yeah. Because I created this weird kind of timing. Mm-hmm. So the weightlifting was a big part of my my training, but it was the way that I lifted weights.
It was interesting because you were training with your fighters the other day, and I heard you tell him he was bench pressing, and his arms were all the way open. You said, why are you bench pressing that way? This is the way you fight. You need to be bench pressing like this instead of your arms wide open. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. And now you're giving away classified information.
Sorry.
But we're gonna let our listeners have this one. So can we charge them for this podcast? This one's like $500. That's okay. But what it is.
It was really interesting that you had such technique behind even the way he was lifting. Where his hands were, the way he's positioning himself.
Well, I think about what you're doing, and that's what I did when I trained myself. Like I said, everything that the scientists are figuring out in the fight game right now, I did. Yeah. My weightlifting was the movements I made was what I'm going to do in a fight. Yeah. I didn't do things that I'm not going to do in a fight. And that's what it was. I'll tell you, you got your arms wide. You don't punch with your arms wide. Yeah. You punch with your arms from in here. So you need to be bench pressing from in here. Because he was the one actually he had told me, said, hey, I was at this gym. And these trainers said, man, they'll train me. And I said, don't let them touch you. Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing to train somebody, personal training for weightlifting and bodybuilding. And of course they want to train you so they can get credit. Yeah. Say, oh, I'm his trainer. I say, but they don't know how to train you in weightlifting for this. Do you want to be like me or you want to be like them? Mm-hmm. Ask him if he can put his foot over his head or not. You know what I'm saying?
It goes all the way back to, you have to have one person one trainer.
One person under the hood. You need one mechanic. Yeah. If you, like I said, you can take if I got my sports car and I take it to Ferrari and I take it to Corvette and I take it to Lamborghini, they're great. Yeah. All the mechanics are great, but if they all work on my car, they're going to tear that car apart. Yeah. Because they all got different ideas of what to use for different areas. Yeah. So, you got to have somebody you trust that's credible and stick with that person. Yeah. But it looks like we're running out of time here on this one. So I'm going to end it on the weightlifting. But what we'll do is next time I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the martial art training, that I used for my martial art career, and the martial art weapons that I actually trained with, which is something we didn't get to use in the cage, which at that time I would have been fine if they would have let us use it. So thank God for sanctioning bodies, for the old men who said you guys don't need to kill each other, here are the rules, know. So, but next time we'll cover more, and it, like I said, it's exciting stuff to just kind of know, what it took to build me into who I am. And if you know me today at 42 years old. I'm a healthy guy. I can pretty much, I don't know if I could beat up the old Jermaine Andre or not. I know I could probably outsmart him. I know a little bit more than he did. But, I'm still in good shape. I still run with everybody else. I still can train with my fighters and everything else. So just trying to give you ideas of what it took to build me, so maybe it can help you build yourself also. Yeah. But definitely. Thanks for listening, everybody. And Rebecca's out.
Bye.
And we'll see you next time on Life Fight. Take care.
For all things Jermaine Andre, get books, get trained. Learn the secrets behind his brawn, his brain, and his edge. Visit JermaineAndre.com. Life Fight with Jermaine Andre is another positive production of RareGem Productions. Thanks for listening.